Hi everybody. Today's book is Zara's Hats, written by Paul Meisel. Zara has a problem. Zara's family has a problem. Let's read and listen to see what the problem is and how the problem gets solved. When you're solving a problem, you're looking for ways to fix the problem. Here we go. Zara's hats. Selig, the hat maker, loved to make hats. Zara, his daughter, loved to help him. See, long ago, people, especially women, wore fancy hats with flowers or feathers. They got all dressed up. Every day after school, Zara would rush home to their tiny apartment above the hat shop and drop off her books. Then she would hurry downstairs to join her mother, Leonora, and her father in the workroom where the sewing machine always whirred and the heavy iron hissed. Zara loved the feel of the soft fabrics, that means the material, as she cut them. She loved the texture, how it felt for the shiny ribbons when she tied large loopy bows. And oh, the feathers. Selig's hats were famous for having the most exquisite, fancy feathers. Glue this feather like so, Selig would tell her. Then put these two over here like this, and now it's done. Another masterpiece, Papa, Zara always said, trying on the finished hat. Good enough for the president's wife, her father would agree. Bravo, my clever Zara. Here is the sewing machine and the iron and the material back here. Isn't life wonderful? Selig often asked, and life was wonderful. The bell on the hat shop door jingled busily. Oh, Mr. Selig, you are a genius, Loretta Falstatter, the opera singer, trilled when she bought a hat. Look at how fancy the ladies looked. This hat will be perfect for the firefighter's ball, exclaimed Brenda Hookenladder, the fire chief's wife. What an extraordinary hat this is, declared Frances Fuzzbottom, the famous dog breeder. Look, puppies, do you like it? I have to use my fancy voice when I'm reading this. All the ladies are so fancy. One day, Zara was decorating a hat for the fire chief's wife. 2 more red feathers and it will be another masterpiece, she said to her father. I'm afraid there are no more red feathers, he replied. But use these 2 yellow ones. I'm sure you'll do something clever with them, good enough for Mrs. Hookenladder, or even the president's wife. Tomorrow, I will buy more. A few days later, Zara raced home to find the lights out in the shop and her father sitting at his cutting table looking sad. What's the matter, Papa? She asked. It's the feathers, Zara dear, answered Selig. I'm afraid we've run out. But can't you buy more? I've tried everywhere, Selig said with a sigh. There seems to be no more feathers anywhere in the city. Oh no, what will happen? That's how he makes money for his family. It wasn't long before there were no more hats in Selig's shop either. Sorry, no hats. Each day passed. he grew more and more melancholy. Melancholy means sad. He needed to make hats to be happy, and he needed feathers to make hats. Oh no, what will happen? This is the problem. This is how he makes money to keep his family safe and healthy and give them food to eat. What will happen? Finally, Selig couldn't stand it anymore. If the feathers wouldn't come to him, he would have to go to the feathers. "Don't worry, my darlings," he said to Zara and Leonora as he boarded a steamer headed for far-off places. This is the big ship called the steamer. "I will return with many fine feathers, and the bell on the hat shop door will once again be jingling." Here he is down here saying goodbye to his family. He's going to go up the ladder and get on the big steamer ship and sail away to find some feathers. Selig sailed for many weeks. The rough seas made him seasick. He traveled by elephant and camel and dugout canoe. But wherever he was, he always sent Zara and Leonora postcards so they would know he was thinking of them. Oh my, look at that dangerous situation. Meanwhile, Zara and her mother were missing Selig terribly. Zara's heart sank each day when she returned home from school and saw the empty shop window. To cheer themselves up, Zara and her mother took long walks in the park. Zara fed bits of bread to the ducks and swooped up and down on the carousel. Sometimes she joined a group of children watching a puppet show or bought hot roasted chestnuts from the cartman. But absolutely nothing could take the place of her father. Then one day, on the way home from the park, Zara had an idea. What could that idea be? Could Zara be thinking of something that her parents didn't think of? Make a prediction. What do you think's going to happen next? She ran through the empty hat shop directly to the little workroom where she began cutting leaves out of fabric and gluing them to wires. She twisted brightly colored ribbons into flowers of all sorts. I'm getting an idea. I'm making a connection. She molded her favorite fruits and animals out of paper mache. That means she made little animals and fruit that look like little statues. When they were dry, Zara painted them with the brightest colors in her paint box. Next, she sewed and pinned and glued what she had made to some of her father's unfinished hats. I'm getting an idea. I hope you're getting an idea. She arranged the hats on the empty stands in the shop window. "There," she said. "Now it's not so lonely." When Zara came home from school the next day, a small crowd had gathered in front of the little shop, the little hat shop. Here they are looking in the window. Look at how they bought their fruits and vegetables. And this is a peddler bringing other food to people. We talked about a peddler in one of our other stories. "I simply must have that hat in the window," said Mrs. Zernacle as Zara led her inside. "It will make my nose look less pink." "And that one is precious," exclaimed Dolly McFizzle. "I don't know where it came from, but it's divine. Please wrap it up." "My cats will simply adore this hat," said Miss Katrina Catnip. "You want to buy these hats?" asked Zara. "Yes," shouted the women. In no time at all, Zara had the hats in boxes, and the window was empty again. That night, Zara and her mother made new hats, and the next day, those hats were sold. Word spread quickly. Everyone loved Zara's hats. Not long after that, Selig returned from his journey, his heart swelling with joy at the thought of seeing his family again. Nevertheless, he was worried too. He had not been able to find a single feather to bring back. What would they do? But as he approached the little hat shop, he was shocked by what he saw. It was not empty and dark as he had expected. Instead, the window was filled with the most amazing hats he had ever seen, and the shop was crowded with customers. "Look at this hat. It looks like a fire hydrant with a fire dog." "Oh my, and this one looks like a cat. And a little bug on flowers, and a bumblebee." "Papa!" shouted Zara when the little bell jingled and she saw her father coming through the door. "Oh, how I missed you," Selig said, wrapping his arms around Zara in a big hug. "And my dear wife, too." He smiled at Lenora and kissed her warmly. "But what has happened here?" He looked around in astonishment. "What hats are these?" "The empty hat stands made me sad, Papa," said Zara. "So I decorated some hats and put them in the window." The hat shop suddenly became quiet. "I thought these were from Paris," said Mrs. Fezzleworth. "You made these extraordinary hats?" "Why, yes," Zara replied. "I hope you're not mad at me, Papa." Selig looked around at the fabulous hats and at all of the happy customers. "Mad? How could I be mad? These hats are amazing, stupendous. I'm so proud of you," he exclaimed. "Even the president's wife would love them. Bravo, my clever Zara." Everyone in the hat shop clapped, except for Loretta Falsetta, who trilled. That means she sang very high with her high voice. From that day on, Selig, Leonora, and Zara kept the hat shop filled with Zara's hats. Who needed feathers? People came from near and far to see the little hat maker and to buy her hats. Bakers and duchesses, mountain climbers and firefighters, musicians, veterinarians, baseball players, and even the president's wife. Oh, this is President Roosevelt's wife, and this is President Teddy Roosevelt. They all came for Zara's hats. And look at the back. Here is a real picture of the hat story. It says Selig and Zara, 1899, New York City. Wow. They had their hat store a long time ago. I like this story. You know why? Because it shows that when you're in a family, you all need to work together. Sometimes you're going to come into a problem. And sometimes it doesn't mean a problem has to be solved by a mom or a dad. Kids can solve problems too. Kids can help their families. Kids have powers too, and you're good thinkers. So if you run into a problem, a little one or a big one, try to lend a hand. Help your family. You all can do amazing things. Have a great day, everyone.